The flaming chalice is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. Our congregations around the world kindle a chalice every Sunday to invite the flame of truth, the light of reason, and the warmth of community. This afternoon, we light the chalice to mark our entry into this sacred time and space with a prayer from beloved poet of blessed memory, John O'Donohue. Blessed be the longing that brought you here and quickens your soul with wonder. May you have the courage to listen to the voice of desire that disturbs you when you have settled for something safe. May you have the wisdom to enter generously into your own unease, to discover the new direction your longing wants you to take. May the forms of your belonging in love, creativity, and friendship be equal to the grandeur and the call of your soul. May your mind inhabit your life with the sureness with which your body inhabits the world. May you come to accept your longing as divine urgency. May you know the urgency with which the holy longs for you.
Today's processional is an old Methodist hymn that dates back to the 18th century. When our senior minister, Reverend Kim Crawford Harvey, was installed here in 1989, Reverend Jean Navas gave her the extraordinary gift of Unitarian universalizing this beautiful hymn with 2 new verses. When the hymnal was published in 1993, the words "young lamb" were substituted for Jean's original lambkin. And in response to this affront, our own Don Richter had buttons made that said, "Restore Lambkin" to hymn 126. At Arlington Street, at the top of verse 2, we sing Lambkin. Let us commence this afternoon's celebration by singing hymn 126, "Come, thou font of every blessing." I invite you now to rise in body or spirit and let us sing together 126.
God, every blessing, tune our hearts to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy, never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. While the hope of life's perfection fills our hearts with joy and love, teach us ever to be faithful. May we still thy goodness prove.
Of every blessing, tune our hearts to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy, never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. While the hope of life's perfection fills our hearts to joy and love, teach us ever to be faithful. May we still thy goodness prove. Come, thou fount of every vision, lift our eyes to what may come. See the lion and the lambkin dwell together in thy home. Hear the cries of war for silent. Feel our love glow like the sun when we all serve one another. Then our heaven is begun. Thou fount of inspiration, turn our lives to higher ways. Lift our gloom and desperation, show the promise of this day. Help us bind ourselves in union. Help our hands tell of our love. With thine aid, O fount of justice, earth be fair as heaven above.
And please be seated. Good afternoon. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Welcome to the ordination of Elizabeth Loving Robbins. I want to say a very special welcome to Beth's family and her bonus family and godmother, friends from high school, college, business school, DC, and seminary, friends from Beth's home congregation, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Jacksonville, and other home friends, to Karen Holer, widow of Bob Holer, who first sent Beth to Arlington Street 17 years ago, and to Beth's other home congregation here at Arlington Street, and to all of her colleagues and Boston friends. What a great joy to be with you here on this great day. Welcome.
I'm deeply honored to have been asked by my dear friend Beth to speak to you today a little bit about the role of ordination in our Unitarian Universalist faith. But Beth also recognized the fact that perhaps about half of us gathered here today know maybe next to nothing about Unitarian Universalism. So she asked me to briefly explain our faith, to answer the question, what is Unitarian Universalism? And now I'm actually quite accustomed to doing this. Every year at my home church in Jacksonville, I teach a religious education class that is dedicated to answering this very question. Now, of course, this class meets for 2 hours every week for 5 weeks. So 10 hours is about how long it takes to properly answer this question. And today, Beth has given me less than 5 minutes. Thank you, Beth. All right, so here we go. In 1756, Voltaire famously observed that the Holy Roman Empire was neither holy nor Roman nor an empire. Now, as we are in Boston in 2018, perhaps I should attempt a more modern and proximate reconceptualization of this rhetorical gem. So this is for you, Boston. Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. Likewise, Unitarian Universalism is neither Unitarian nor Universalist, at least as we once understood those terms. The Unitarianism of our theological forebears originated as an early Christian doctrine, perhaps the earliest. It declared that God was one rather than three, a unity rather than a trinity. Now, over time, this idea fell out of favor with the recognized leaders of the Christian church, but this idea kept popping up at various times and various places all over Christendom for the next couple thousand years or so, including early America. Universalism, similarly, was an early Christian idea, one which proposed that God's love was so powerful, so inexorable, that nothing could stop it. Thus, in the end, all of God's children, every human soul, would one day, in some way, return to God. That is, all would be saved. Like Unitarianism, this early Christian doctrine also fell out of favor with the powers that be, and it also kept popping up at various times and various places over the years, including early America. So in 1961, American Unitarians and American Universalists, they joined forces. They became one, and thus was born the Unitarian Universalist Association, the modern expression, the contemporary convergence of two ancient streams of faith. Our association's first president and a former minister to this very congregation, the Reverend Dana Greeley, once noted that UUism was a post-Christian faith. But I wonder, had he lived a few decades later, if he might rather have called us a trans-Christian faith. For we have gone through Christianity, and we have emerged on another side of it, transformed by the journey. And our theology then is no longer defined or confined by the ancient Christian doctrines from which we draw our name. We are not exclusively Unitarian anymore as that term was originally understood, for we count among our members not only those who believe God is one, but also those who believe God is many, God is all, or God is not. Nor are we still universalist in the strictest historically Christian sense of the term, for many of us do not believe there is anything necessarily awaiting us after this life. Unitarian Universalism today is not so concerned with the divisibility of God or the nature of the afterlife. Rather, we are focused on keeping our promises to pursue beloved community, to lift up transcendent values of lasting and eternal worth, to embrace diversity as we work together to liberate one another and incarnate love and justice in this world, here and now. This is the faith that Beth has chosen to serve. In our tradition, ordination is a sacred ritual in which a congregation confers the authority of religious leadership to a seeker it has deemed worthy of the title Reverend. This ordination today represents an official recognition, a sacred affirmation, the collective yes and amen of a vast cloud of witnesses surrounding Beth, a cloud comprised of fellow colleagues, friends, and family, and most importantly, those whom Beth has faithfully served and ministered to for the past 2 years. Today, these voices come together to declare Beth worthy. And Beth, I am honored to also bear witness to your worthiness, to affirm and confirm before all gathered here today the ministerial gifting within you, which is as evident and as obvious as the nose on your face.
trees of the forest, the lark sings so sweet at the dawn of the day. Now shall your heart be with my heart. Now shall your heart be my home. Now shall your heart be forever with my heart. Now shall your heart be forever my home. Come, love, will I be the apple in blossom, the perfume of heaven. Yes, come, love, will I. Now shall your heart be forever with my heart. Now shall your heart be forever my home. Now shall your heart be forever my home.
I need a gay man. Is it okay? Okay. God speaks to each of us as God makes us, then walks with us silently out of the night. These are the words we dimly hear. You, sent out beyond your recall, go to the limits of your longing. Embody me. Flare up like flame and make big shadows I can move in. Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. Don't let yourself lose me. Nearby is the country they call life. You will know it by its seriousness. Give me your hand. That's Rilke. That's all of us, each and every one of us, making our way home. We leave home for all the right reasons, or maybe all the wrong reasons, or both, and sooner or later, we're lost. If we're lucky, we're not lost forever, and along the way, we discover what we didn't even know enough to set out to find. Cam and I got lost once after 2 days of backpacking into the heart of the Grand Canyon. We had camped by the mighty Colorado River, but the next water was a whole day away, miles and miles of uphill desert. In the terrible heat of summer, we stepped off into the relative cool of midnight, in the good company of owls and bats, scorpions and rattlesnakes. In the circle of light cast by my headlamp, all I could see was the back of Kem's knees and the shadow of her hiking poles clicking along the center of a steep trail up a narrow side canyon, the walls high above us. I don't know how long we'd been climbing when suddenly she stopped. "This isn't right," she said. "I hear water." Sure enough, in the enormous silence of the inner canyon, there it was, the faintest trickle coming from high above us. "There was no water on the trail we came down," she said. We turned around and headed back down. And then she stopped again for no reason apparent to me. Here, she said, we should have gone right. In the pitch blackness, the faint trace of a path led off to our left. She looked up to take a bearing on the canyon wall, and we headed back up. Hours later, at daybreak, we emerged onto the Tonto Plateau, and hours after that, a stand of cottonwood trees came into the distant view. Water. Home. Kem had been right. She's always right, actually, which is why she always leads. If trail finding were up to me, we'd still be down there. And in the full light of day, she told me the other reason she turned us around was because we needed to get out of that particular side canyon. She wondered if we were being stalked by a mountain lion. Life is an exercise in trust. It's learning who and who not to trust, and it's learning to trust ourselves, trust our guts, or whatever it is with which we sense danger or safety. Usually we get it right, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're far from home, good and lost, or bad and lost, as the case may be, bewildered, helpless, filled with anxiety, dread, and agitation. We can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and when we can, we're afraid it's a train. The Buddha spent a lot of time talking about this experience, a mind state he called moha, which in his native Pali means delusion or to be stupefied. In moha, we feel estranged and unsettled, and we can't see or feel the connections between us and others. There's the mistake, forgetting that we're connected to every other living being. The trick is to remember that, no matter what, to calm down and clear our minds, to seek and find our point of connection and turn toward home. This is English poet David Whyte's The Journey. Above the mountains, the geese turn into the light again. Paint their black silhouettes on an open sky. Sometimes everything has to be inscribed against the heavens so you can find the one line already written inside you. Sometimes it takes a great sky to find that small, bright, and indescribable wedge of freedom in your own heart. Sometimes, with the bones of the black sticks left when the fire has gone out, someone has written something new in the ashes of your life. You are not leaving. You are arriving. If we're lucky, every byway, every detour, every stall out is all part of the journey. As Ram Dass says, all grist for the mill. If we choose to believe that, then even when the going gets rough, we can find some peace and even some measure of joy in the journey itself. We are always homeward bound. Thai forest monk Achan Cha says, when we have no real home, we are aimless travelers out on the road going this way for a while, then that way, until we return to our real home. We feel ill at ease about whatever we're doing. At best, wherever we go, each of us carries home with us, remembering that home is where the heart is, and there is no distance to travel to the home in our heart. Canadian religious scholar Wilfred Cantwell Smith speaks of a faith as a quiet confidence and joy that enables us to feel at home in the universe. Faith is home. I remember hearing our own theologian, Rebecca Parker, I hope I have this right, saying that so many of us focus on relieving suffering as the work of our religious life, but when we shift our focus from suffering to love, to falling in love with the world, our passion will fuel our faith, and the world will be as Eden once again. Love is home. Beth, I am so grateful to have met your dearest Florida friends and been the guest of your lovely parents, George and Betsy, in your childhood home. It helps me try to explain why it is that you're preparing to leave your perfectly good and beautiful home right here among us at Arlington Street and circle back to Florida, which for many of us might as well be another country. I tell people I finally understood about Florida as home when, in the pre-dawn darkness of a January morning, you and I went creeping out into your parents' front yard to pick satsumas and lemons. Having grown up here, I can tell you I have never picked anything edible in wintertime. But there, fruit and people alike were delicious. Not to mention that church, that ocean, which I know is this ocean, only warm. I get it. By January, I was ready to call Florida home. But I just want to reiterate that image of circling back. Black Elk, a holy man of the Ogallala Sioux, wrote, "Everything the power of the world does is in a circle." And that is because the power of the world always works in circles, and everything tries to be round. The sky is round, and I have heard that the earth is round like a ball, and so are the stars. The wind in its greatest power whirls. Birds make their nests in circles. The sun comes forth and goes down again in a circle. The moon does the same, and both are round. Even the seasons come back again to where they were, and so it is in everything where power moves. Our lives are inscribed in circles. Note, that means you'll come home to us here. My beloved Beth, today as we ordain you to our ministry, I welcome you home. Beloved spiritual companions, I leave you in blessing with this poem, Methodist minister Jan Richardson's Another Way. You have looked at so many doors with longing, wondering if your life lay on the other side. For today, choose the door that opens to the inside. Travel the most ancient way of all, the path that leads you to the center of your life. No map, but the one you make yourself. No provision but what you already carry and the grace that comes to those who walk the pilgrim's way. Speak this blessing as you set out and watch how your rhythm slows. The cadence of the road drawing you into the pace that is your own. Eat when hungry, rest when tired. Listen to your dreaming. Welcome detours as the doors deepen in. Pray for protection. Ask for guidance you need. Offer gladness for the gifts that come, and then let them go. Do not expect to return by the same road. Home is always by another way, and you will know it not by the light that waits for you, but by the star that blazes inside you, telling you where you are is holy, and you are welcome here. You are always welcome here. Amen.
In the Unitarian Universalist tradition, only congregations have the authority and privilege to ordain ministers. The centuries-old practice of calling a minister from among us is a fundamental part of our identity and heritage. Today, we gather as a congregation to participate in this sacred ritual as we lift up our beloved Beth, affirming her call, celebrating her gifts, and blessing her ministry.
We come together to ordain Elizabeth Loving Robbins to the Unitarian Universalist ministry. With this act of ordination, we confer the authority of religious leadership and celebrate the enduring relationship between Beth and this beloved spiritual community. In the spirit, will the members of Arlington Street Church please rise, embody your spirit, and join me in reading the words printed in your order of service. We hereby ordain you, Elizabeth Loving Robbins, to the Unitarian Universalist ministry. We send you forth to bring your unique light of wisdom, compassion, and mirth to the world. Beth's family, friends, and colleagues, will you please rise, embody your spirit, so that all who are assembled here may join in a resounding affirmation of this ordination. Beth, with glad hearts, we affirm your call. We celebrate who you are and the many ways that your gifts will bless this world. We send you forth with great expectations and the charge to serve with courage and lead with love.
Beloveds, I am mindful of honoring the legacy of those who have gone before us and keen to prepare the path for those who will come after. With deep humility and profound gratitude, I accept your charge. With your blessings, I joyfully take up the ministry to which you ordain me. Amen.
Traditionally, two gifts are given to ministers at the time of ordination, the robe and the stole. The stole is an especially meaningful gift in that it is reserved for ordination. Today will be the first time that Beth will wear a stole. Members of Beth's intern committee will be presenting the stole. This group is very special to Beth. They were her first connections at Arlington Street and her greatest companions as she learned and grew.
Now, for the past few years, Beth has been borrowing the robe that Kim wore when she was a student. Today, we launch Beth on her path of ordained ministry with a robe of her very own. Knowing Beth, none of you will be surprised to hear that she couldn't wait to be done with the standard issue, black, academic robe. What began as a simple attempt to infuse a little fashion flair into the traditional robe became quite a labor of love. Beth's godmother, Barbara, and her mom, Betsy, invested many hours into the design of this robe, and a local seamstress finished the job. I would like to invite Beth's parents and my fellow members of the intern committee to come forward and present these gifts. Beth, may they serve you well and remind you always of the abiding love for you here at Arlington Street Church.
had the honor of serving as the song leader for the service that Beth preached after the Women's March in January of 2017. And I wish, for those of you who missed it, I wish you could have been here because she preached a sermon of beautiful holy fire. And I am more than honored to reprise Quiet, the unofficial anthem of the Women's March by singer-songwriter Connie Kim, who goes by the stage name Milk.
Put on your face, know your place, shut up and smile, don't spread your wings. I could do that, but no one knows me, no one ever will. If I don't say something, if I just lie still, would I be a monster, scare them all away? If I let them hear what I have to say, I can't keep quiet, no, I can't keep quiet, no, a one-woman riot, no, I can't keep quiet for anyone. Not anymore, 'cause no one knows me, no one ever will. If I don't say something, take that dry blue pill, they may see a monster, they may run away, but I have to do this. I can't keep quiet, no, I can't keep quiet, no, a one-woman riot, no, I can't keep quiet. There'll be someone who understands. Must be someone who'll understand. There'll be someone who understands. Oh, 'cause I can't keep quiet. No, I can't keep quiet. No, I can't keep quiet. No, I won't keep quiet.
I invite everyone to please rise in body or spirit as you are able. As we begin this most ancient and sacred ritual of laying on of hands, I invite us first to begin by laying our own hands over our heart center. And as we do so, I invite us to lower or close our eyes. Feel the pulsating of the divine light that radiates within your being and is felt in the beating of your heart. And bring your awareness to the rise and fall of your chest, your breath flowing in and flowing out. And become present to all the energies that move in and through our being, connecting us to all that is and to one another. Feel these energies moving through your body, through your cells, and into your hands. And slowly bring your hands from your heart center out in front of you, palms up towards the heavens. And you may open your eyes. Elizabeth Loving Robbins, please come forward to receive the blessing of your colleagues, your family, your friends, and this covenanted community. I invite you, Beth, to first place your hands on your own heart center and feel the light of the presence of the divine within you, and breathe in that light. And know from this moment forward that this is the place where your ministry begins and where your ministry will always live. May the work of your hands and the path of your ministry be guided by the call of love and the blessed assuredness of the Spirit that resides within your own heart. I invite now Beth's family to please come forward. And standing behind Beth, place your hands upon her shoulders or the shoulders of someone connected to Beth. And we want you to stand here because you have always had her back. It is you who have loved her here into this time and this present moment. Feel that energy flowing from your hands into Beth. I invite Beth's colleagues, the clergy, to please come forward, carrying with you the ancient tradition and solemn celebration, and lay your hands upon Beth's shoulders, or the shoulders of someone connected to Beth. Before Beth was ordained into ministry, she was welcomed into fellowship with her colleagues, and all of you have committed to supporting her as she moves forward into her ministry. I now invite the members of the Arlington Street Church to please come forward and lay hands upon the shoulders of someone connected to Beth. You have guided and supported her as she has grown and come into the fullness of ministry. I now invite Beth's friends and everyone else who is gathered here to please come forward and place your hands upon the shoulders of someone who is connected to Beth. And let us feel for a moment the energies of this connection. The energies that we transmit to Beth in this moment. Let us all take a deep breath in and let it out. Elizabeth Loving Robbins, we who are gathered here in this sacred moment, sacred beings in this human experience, do lay hands upon you, joining together with all the majestic forces of the universe to bestow upon you the radiance of divine light, the unconditional love of our hearts, and the energies of this holy and sacred blessing upon you and your ministry. We are your people. Where you go, beloved, our blessing goes with you. From this day forward through the end of all time. May the people say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Blessed be. You may be seated.
Beth, I feel like it is a testimony to your faith that you have in me and all of our colleagues that you would expect me to sing after the Spirit surges through me and through all of us like that. Beth and many of us here have been companions on the journey at Meadville Lombard and through the call to ministry. And every time I have felt shaky, Beth, when I look back, you have said to me, go, do it your way, do your ministry. And I know that you are going to do that for everyone that you serve. This song, Oceans, which I realize now is so appropriate for you with your two homes, is from the Christian contemporary tradition from a band called Hillsong United out of Sydney, Australia. We've adapted a couple of the lyrics. One in particular, we talk about moving upon the water rather than walking because we know that we move in many ways of the sacred.
Call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where feet may fail. And there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep. My faith will stand, and I will call upon your name, and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours, and you are mine. Oh, oh, oh. Grace abounds in deepest waters. Its sovereign hand will be my guide. Where feet may fail and fear surrounds me, we know we'll fail, but we won't stop now. And I will call upon your name, and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours, and you are mine. I invite you, each and every one of you, to think about your calling in this life, to be called, and to think about the ways, to feel about the ways that a love without borders can be saving each and every day through us. Spirit, lead me where my love is without borders. Let me move upon the waters, wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Saviors. Spirit, lead me where my love is without borders. Let me move upon the waters, wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith could be much stronger in the presence of my Saviors. Spirit, lead me where my love is without borders. Let me move upon the waters, wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Saviors. And I will call upon your name, and keep my eyes above the waves. My soul will rest in your embrace. I am yours, and you are mine.
Hello. For the offering today, Beth has asked me to come and represent the Foundation for the Preservation of 20 Arlington Street. This building has been a place of love, acceptance, and refuge for almost 170 years. Besides the thousands of sermons that have been preached from this pulpit up here, the building itself is a work of art that helps uplift and inspire the soul. The gorgeous interior here makes one feel like they are part of something special, grand, and maybe even epic. More important than that, though, to us, is this incredible collection of Tiffany stained glass windows housed in our walls. Not only are they incredibly beautiful, but they are a unique collection unlike any else in the world. They are the largest collection of Tiffany stained glass windows united by one theme. Up until recently, you pretty much could only see these if you came to a service. But thanks to the foundation, in recent years, we have opened our doors to the public to allow others to come and enjoy them too. They have inspired visitors from as far as Japan, Australia, Argentina, Germany, Russia. The international list goes on, as well as those visiting from around the United States. New York, California, South Dakota, New Mexico. Almost every state has had members visit us. And we have also had many local visitors, some even making the lengthy trek down from Beacon Hill to come in and visit. We thank you for your donation today because it helps us continue our mission of preserving and promoting this incredible historic building and these amazing windows. Your donation helps us keep the doors open 6 days a week to help educate those who come in and hopefully leave them a little changed. Thank you.
My name is John Coffey, and I am here representing Meadville Lombard Theological School, where Beth and I met as seminarians, and we greet you here today as colleagues. Yes, it's an exciting thing. The fund that we're asking you to contribute to from Meadville is the Denny Davidoff Memorial Fund. And Denny, how many folks in here knew Denny? Many of us. She was a powerhouse of Unitarian Universalism, and everywhere she went, she preached our message of love and hope and justice for a world, and she dedicated that to raising money for seminarians. She had a trademark move that I am going to affectionately call the Denny Davidoff Double Down. Because at ordinations, at installations, at events for the UUA, she would ask folks to prepare whatever it was that they had planned on giving, and then reach into their pockets, and if you can, double it. And I don't think that's a hard stretch for us today because we have one offering, but we have two incredible offerings to give to today. I loved what you said, Alyssa. You said big, grand, and ultimately epic. And Beth, today on your ordination, you are part of something big and grand and epic, and that is the story of Unitarian Universalism. Ordinations are about a person, but more than that, they are about a movement of people who gather and say with one voice, we wade into the waters of this tradition, guided by what has come before, looking with hope and anticipation and faith at what is coming. And so I'm asking all of us here today to pay testament to that in the form of joyfully giving to our past and to our future of religious leaders who will come long after Beth and all of the other clergy and leaders and congregants are gone. We, with our offering today, pay tribute to this epic. And to that end, the offering will now be joyfully received.
Once you stood below a mountain, now you find yourself surprised. This is the sweet spot of your life, 'cause this new view compares to nothing, gone the hardship of your climb. This is the sweet spot of your life, and it would seem the ice is melting, seems you've come in from the cold. This is the sweet spot of your life, and all your streams, they are now fuller than what the river banks can hold. This is the sweet spot of your life. So you must hold these days like treasures in a jewel box in your heart. This is the sweet spot of your life. For you know well they are most precious. Into an old tree you must carve them. This is the sweet spot of your life. May it only sting a moment when you dive into that blue. This is the sweet spot of your life. 'Cause by the time you hit the surface, it has rearranged you. This is the sweet spot of your life. You always wanted something solid, just one solid thing. Oh, but angels are so fickle, they only love you when you sing. But you don't need those fickle angels to shine. This is the sweet spot of your life. Once you stood below a mountain, now you find yourself surprised. This is the sweet spot of your life. 'Cause this new view compares to nothing, gone the hardship of your climb. This is the sweet spot of your life. May it only sting a moment when you dive into that blue. This is the sweet spot of your life. 'Cause by the time you hit the surface, it has rearranged you. This is the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot of your life. This is the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot of your life.
Our closing hymn today is a folk song about radical compassion and love. It was inspired by texts from the book of Ruth, one of only 2 books in the Christian canon of Scripture named for a woman. Where You Go was written by Shoshana Jedwab, a Jewish educator hailing from a family of rabbis and community leaders. We sing this today to acknowledge the many ways we are divided and to recommit ourselves to the vision of beloved community. During the hymn, the ministers will recess, and the rest of us will stay in our seats until Reverend Beth has given the benediction and walked down the aisle. That will be our signal that it is time for the party to begin. All are welcome for the reception in the parish hall following today's service. I invite you now to rise in body or spirit and join in singing Where You Go.
So I'm going to sing a line, you sing it back to me. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Your turn. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. 'Cause your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your turn. 'Cause your people are my people. Your people are mine. 'Cause your people are my people. You're divine, my divine.
'Cause your people are my people.
You're divine, my divine. Where you go, where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. 'Cause your people are my people. Your people are mine. 'Cause your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Where you go, where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. 'Cause your people are my people. Your people are mine. 'Cause your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. 'Cause your people are my people. Your people are mine. 'Cause your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. One more time through. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. 'Cause your people are my people. Your people are mine. 'Cause your people are my people. You're divine, my divine.
Oh, my beloveds. Will you please join hands for our benediction? My heart is full looking at the beautiful sight of you. My congregation of Arlington Street Church and the congregation of my life, you have done something extraordinary You have created a minister. You have loved me into being. I send you forth today with my profound gratitude and with the charge to embrace that power. May we come to understand how powerful we are as individuals, and especially when we come together in community. With open hearts, let us ask, if we can do this, what else is possible? Let's find out together. Amen.
1, 2, 3, 4. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. 'Cause your people are my people. Your people are mine. 'Cause your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. You're divine, my. You're divine, my divine. You're divine, my divine. One more time. You're divine, my divine.
Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.